Marco Vicenzino, you are a geopolitical analyst. You look at high-level political strategy very closely. Great to have you back on the show, by the way. How did this go down in the States? Because as Natasha Fielding rightly said, even though Poland and Bulgaria are small countries, they are EU countries, and this may be the start of something bigger.
Yes, I mean, it's basically, I think, with Poland and Bulgaria, it was a warning, a threat to the others that if you don't fall into line, you'll be suffering equal consequences. From a U.S. perspective, the energy element, particularly with Europe, is an important part of an overall equation that has to be taken into consideration, particularly if you want to keep unity amongst the Western allies and unity within the EU itself. So that's something that's definitely on the radar screen of American policymakers. You have countries, just Europe alone, the European Union, and being 40% reliant on natural gas from Russia. Germany alone receiving 55% of its natural gas from Russia. I mean, these numbers are enormous. They're massive. So I think from a U.S. perspective, yes, things are being taken into consideration. But at the same time, they're trying to find ways to compensate for the for energy supplies to Europe. But the problem with that is that takes quite a while. It's not something that can be done overnight. So that's on the political. I mean, basically, as the White House has made clear, to use the words that Russia is weaponizing energy supplies. And that's true. It'll keep doing so. It's one of its main leverages against the West as it looks at its own existential crisis. If you cut out the oils of Russia, I mean, the energy exports is basically at present the lifeline of the Russian economy. And if that's taken away, that'll mean economic ruin. So this is an existential element in terms of Putin's engagement with the outside world. And I think overall, even if you look at it from a corporate perspective, soon oil companies will be announcing their earnings. And the first quarter of 2022, with the average price of a barrel of oil being at $98 per barrel during that time, companies such as Exxon, Chevron are going to record their largest profits probably since 2008. So it's not just about politics; it's also about profits here. And there's various sides to this, to call a broader geopolitical equation. During the Cold War, at the start of the Cold War, at the end of the Cold War in the early 90s, you saw a tendency of profits over politics. Now with this conflict, you're going to be seeing a lot more politics trumping over profits.